Thank you, Laskin Corla. I'll be as brief. In relation to the motion itself, like others, I welcome the opportunity to debate the question of commercial rates. It's an opportune time to do that, given the state of our economy. It does, I have to say, like others, begs the question about, I read the draft from the side opposite in relation to the motion. It does beg the question that we wouldn't be having this debate had some of the items listed been acted upon. But notwithstanding that, commercial rates, as has been stated by others, is an important part of the funding for local authorities. For some, it's very important. For others, it's not quite so important. I think the best guide in recent times, and I disagree with some of the detail in the motion, because if you refer to the ESRI report of some years ago, I know it was almost specifically referring to the retail sector. They actually reached a conclusion where commercial rates were somewhere in the region of between 7 and 9% of all overheads in a commercial business, between 7 and 9. So the question of rates in terms of people running business, there's a great focus on it, and sometimes there's great pressure put on local councillors and TDs, etc., about bringing changes in commercial rates. But factually, it is not the case that it is such a burden. It is for some individual companies, but overall it is not. The local authority that I was a member of for 12 years, South Dublin County Council, the second largest local authority in the country, they had a very progressive view towards the question of rates in terms of dealing with the commercial sector. And because rates was quite a small factor in the whole scheme of things in terms of running a business, because of course if it's around 7%, payroll makes up about half of that, if not more. Then there's the question of waste, water, etc. But you tend to hear more about the question of rates and about what local authorities are, how they're punishing businesses, etc. But South Dublin County Council management took a quite a different, unique view of this, and they would say to businesses, look, you should come together in terms of looking at the question of water supply and the wastage of water, waste, the level of recycling, etc. And one of the most important factors in it was, of course, and again in a recession we become more acutely aware of this, most Irish businesses, on average, 35% of their overheads are energy. But most commercial operators in Ireland, unfortunately, because we're not like some of our neighbours, we're not as tuned into it. So if you consider the 35% of overheads in a commercial business is 5 times what the commercial rates is, then business should be looking at better ways of having more efficient energy, just as they should be looking at the question of security. So I don't think it's as great a problem or a difficulty. I recognise that it's an overhead, and for a lot of local authorities, as I said, it's their lifeblood. But I think all of us should look at this thing about more efficient businesses and not just concentrate on the subject of commercial rates.